The text is found in the Nag Hammadi library. In the text called the Apocalypse of John, and in something called the Tractate Tripartite in the same Nag Hammadi library, finally translated in 1977, scholars by the name of Elaine Pegos and several other scholars, but edited by James Robinson. But in those two texts, and especially in the Apocalypse of John, they talk about counterfeit spirits. Well, the first thing when I read this, I immediately thought about the white man, because he would actually be a counterfeit spirit, but he's a later version of it. But the text is talking about counterfeit spirits far long before the white man ever got here. Way earlier. Before the white man ever got here. They even talk about as far back as the first humans being on the earth. And they talk about these original gods taking form on the earth, and immediately jealous entities in heaven creating counterfeit spirits to throw off the true beings. So this causes problems, because at that particular time, wasn't no other races on the earth. So that means there's a counterfeit spirit black person. And in so many words, who might have been allowed to live in mass is the counterfeit spirits. And the true beings were slaughtered. The true beings, first of all, kept in poverty. Kept isolated, slaughtered for cattle and for experimentation and consumption. And the counterfeit spirits allowed to roam America. But yet, only a few of us survived. Well, that's not strange, because the Bible talks about that. The remnant. The elect. Something is up. Because in a time when it is forecast, even in Valencia Scranton's book, second chapter on Saturn and the conjunction of Saturn, second book, chapter on Saturn and the conjunction of Saturn, which would be Capricorn. In that chapter, they talk about how in the last days, both people will be, awareness would come back to the people. In Vera Stanley's Adler book, Awakening the Third Eye, she's taking a text from a passage from a book called The Rosicrucian Cosmos Conception. Real racist book, but nevertheless it's Rosicrucian Cosmos Conception, where they talk about in the last days the pineal glands will open up and the awareness would come back to the original people. Also, your boy Edgar Casey said that the last days there will be an incarnation of an avatar called John Pineal, which is talking about the pineal gland opening up, the third eye. So we're supposed to have more people aware now than we do. You see? Now, New York, you might have like they had a great turnout. You had to keep putting chairs out there. And you got the UAM. But when you think about it, you get caught in the illusion that consciousness is growing. But you got whole states, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas. You see what I'm saying? Florida, most of Georgia, Tennessee, most of New York, The whole country where people don't know they're behind from a hole in the ground. Dumb as a damn stump. And have no clue. You hear the movie Clueless? Good movie. Because I'd be damn if you look at the movie Clueless, which was supposed to be high school students, 9th and 10th grade, but look at the movie Clueless and then analyze black people. You'll see they ain't going to be no different than the 9th and 10th grade people in Clueless and black people walking around this baby, doing their thing, which ain't about nothing. You see. So the counterfeit spirits that you're talking about could very well be what is most of the stuff that's left. There's only a few of the true beings left. Now, Joseph Cipollone, in several of his books, forecast this 15 years ago when he wrote Making Sense of the Madness, Death of an Evil God, Basic Gnostic Truths. And he talked about all these counterfeit spirits and stuff, which he's also, but basically he got the idea of the first thing that made him inquire even into this even more was those Nag Hammadi texts. And those Nag Hammadi texts. And even since then, they must have made him a counterfeit spirit, because on his website now, he ain't really talking about nothing like he was going strong in 98 and 97. So, the counterfeit spirit thing is a reality. Is a reality. They literally kill off the true beings. They kill the true beings off. You see, because this is ridiculous where nobody knows nothing. We are world-class people. We don't, and the thing about it is what's such a dichotomy here is we don't have a problem performing at all for the white man. You know what I'm saying? The white man tell you to build that camera, you would build that camera and build it better. But yet we can't get nothing black. Now that has to be a counterfeit spirit. You are fundamentally black. And you don't want nothing to do with your own essence. But yet everything to do with, if the white boy come up, we see it every day. Whatever that white boy comes up with, that's what we going to be.
Can you kind of give us an image or an insight, and perhaps you may want to use the Green Mile, John, as a prototype of what spiritual black people should be like, capable of, and just to propose that?
Okay, two good movies that came out. You saw, what was my man name in the movie? What was his name? John Palmer? What was his name?
What was it, Black?
John Candy?
No, the one who did
The Green Mile. The black man. I can't remember, but anyway. John Coffey. John Coffey said he just knows. In the Green Mile, when they asked him where were they going, he said, I'm going to see this woman. He said he just knows. But if you get the movie, The Phantom Menace, that's the last Star Wars movie. It wasn't one of the best Star Wars movies they had, but when they asked him what was chloramidiums, he said they were microscopic organisms that's in the body that tell us all of who we are and what the universe is like. They are extraterrestrial civilizations, microscopic organisms in the body to tell us who we are. Those same things are called Damians, and they're intelligence that you just know. You have awareness, and it comes to you when you're in trouble, when you sense people who ain't right. You see what I'm saying? You just know. That's because those intelligence are in you, telling you You know what I'm saying? You know some danger's getting ready to happen. You know something funky getting ready to go down. You just know that it might be the wrong person you don't want to see. Because the Spirit has already told you. But those microscopic organisms, and here's also a picture of Pascal Beverly Randolph, which is the father of metaphysics.
Now, is this the black man?
It's a black man.
Let me give it close. Because from a distance, he looks kind of white.
Well, you know how that go, hell. How many Negroes you know look like that? You know what I'm saying?
I know a lot of them.
You know a lot of them. They just didn't have no afro. You know what I'm saying? He had the 1800s process. You know what I'm saying? But he lied enough. That's what they call that good hair.
He got that same look as Shakespeare and
Yeah. But look at his nappy beard, though. The good hair down there. And Lincoln. Hell, he was Lincoln's boy. Pascal Beverly Randolph. Father of metaphysics. Of Western metaphysics. Now, but in the book Goetia, we talk about this all the time. These seals that they talk about here are the same microscopic organisms, or Damians, which is nothing but melanin, because these seals are called Synecdoche, that is located in the third eye. The body has 7 chakras. Within the third eye, they have 72 chakras. And these 72 chakras of these seals are what is called Damians, which is legions of 10,000 each. And there's 30 different legions each. And legions is 10,000, so we're talking about millions. This is all inside of us and inside of the melanin, going even deeper. Microscopic organisms and intelligence that let you know. You see. And although you have white people as psychics, that's just a residue, because this thing is far beyond just a sense of awareness. You see what I'm saying? This thing can actually take over the body and will take over the body and is going to take over the body and wear it like a damn spacesuit and take charge. There are devices that will come online. That's the same thing why they say they will reduce Europe to a chaotic state where no man is left to tell the tale. Well, in the book Kundalini for a New Age, Go Up to Krishna, there are devices that will come online that will destroy everything if it is openly confronted with danger. That's why they have to confront us secret. Sometimes they throw it off by getting a damn black cop. Throws the body off. Now the black man busts in your head. So you can't function. That's the magic behind the black police officer. You see? It throws the body off. You can psychologically regroup. Or you can psychologically deal with the white man because you have identified him as the enemy historically, up until recently. But what about a black man knocking you over the head with a billy bat? Or the black judge giving you the doggone sentence? Or the black lawyer fucking you over? You get how this thing goes? That's the throw off stuff. So they get them Negroes to do the bidding. Or some old black Uncle Tom on TV talking shit about black people. So the whole thing takes a whole psychological vacuum to shut down the true beings by confusion. Because it's not the white man no more that's doing the most ridiculous thing. It's the black man, which they are counterfeit spirits. You get it? It's all based on melanin wars. Because we're dealing with intelligence to shut down that. You see, it's all based on melanin wars. And we're dealing with the intelligence. So, let's get into this side, because this is key right now to put on this tape. Because there's a brother down in Atlanta, Georgia, named Minister Ra. And he convinced his followers that music like blues and jazz and funk and rock and roll is negative. Because they were made at a time when people either were at a low state. And the most high form of music is classical. And we know that classical, the scales came out of Kemet. We know that. We know that Beethoven was black. But this book, Mark Balfour's book, The Sign and the Seal, is called Creative Physics. Melanin is always in a state of change. Remember I talked about that at the beginning of the lecture? And creative physics. That means it creates under any condition, and it creates under the worst conditions. Now, the word music comes from the word muses. And the word muses, you get the word muses, water nymphs, muses, mermaids, Melusines. All of these is little mythical creatures that you're thinking, even elves, gorgons, that you're thinking is actual literal creatures out here. These are nothing but mythological names of these microscopic organisms we call the Goetia, these seals. So muses is nothing but the same Damians. It is not music coming from the heavens. It is music comes from the inner archetypal subconscious mind called Amenta. Amen, land of Amen, the hidden land. Muses are these same microscopic organisms called melanin. Now we'll document this because they say, he said the scales come out of Egypt, but he don't have enough scholarship to understand. You ask him, can you explain to me how it came out of Egypt? He couldn't tell you. You see? He probably, one of the few people that mentions it is Ra Nefer Amen. That's where a lot of people get it from. But, and a few other scholars and stuff, but they don't know. If you ask him, well, give me the origin of how it came out of Egypt or Kemet, he couldn't do that. I can. That's how I know that this is some bullshit, because I can make the link and I can state the case based on the research. Now, we've traced the origins of music back to the priesthood of On, the Hermetic school. And Hermes is the Greek god Tahuti, the Greek form of Tahuti, and Tahuti is the god of magic and knowledge. In so many words, melanin comes out of the school of alchemy, because also the priesthood of Tahuti was the study of alchemy, because the study of alchemy is under the study of Hermetic sciences. So the Hermetic sciences is where the origin of music comes from, and the word muse later on, the Greek version of that, which could very well be Camite version, is talking about Hermetic sciences, and in so many words, it is melanin put to scale. You see? And it comes from the Hermetic science. We'll document on his ass Hermetic Gnosticism and Hermeticism. State University of New York, 1997. We even have documentation on this shit. Now, muses is an inner surface of coming from the melanin. And it is a medicine. That means when you go to a low point, this human microscopic organism creates a medicine to heal you when you're at your lowest point. And that medicine is whatever music you create to heal yourself. So the most powerful music is not the one you create when you are not in tragedy. It is the one you create when you're at your lowest point, because that's the one you got to use to lift your ass up. So jazz, funk, blues is higher than the classical shit You see what I'm saying? Of the Europeans. But even Beethoven was not in no doggone funk. Like no muddy waters, goddammit. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference. That's why they studied us, and they studied us especially in the 70s when they was putting scunion on our behinds, in the 60s and the 70s, and we tend to come back to work healed on Monday morning. All because we was living for the weekend, and we was healing ourselves through our doggone tunes. Why? Because we had an album, which is an original recording, which grooves in it. I talked about this before. But you also, which is cooked down to because most rubber, most plastics and stuff is white. To get that blackness on it, you got to cook it down to the most carbon form because it's not dyed. They cook it down. You see what I'm saying? That plastic there is cooked down. That's not a dyed plastic. They cook that plastic down from a white liquid. Because it's clear. They cook it down, and that when you cook something down, you make the most carbon element in it. That's what ash is. You see ash in the Bible and all these ancient texts, that's melanin. That's carbon. 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons. So they cook this, the black plastic disc down, but it has a recording on it, which is actually, you can feel the grooves. Then you have a needle, which is a diamond. And a diamond is what? Pressurized carbon. And from that, black people was healing themselves. From them 45s. You see, in them albums. You see what I'm saying? And as a result, they had to get rid of that and put a hologram, which is laser. It's a hologram. It's an illusion. But the melanin was responding to our music. We couldn't get it live. We could still get it either way. But it was the music which was the main medicine for black people. We always had good music up until lately. That's why rap is not a healing form. That's why Puff Daddy and them make them $100 million. They're producing something that's not a healing form. And we now have produced children here who have never heard real music. You see? Just a few. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, they found a way to shut down the doggone melanin. You see what I'm saying? I'll keep it dormant because it is these tunes that the pituitary gland responds to produce the amount of melanin for the body. The pituitary gland regulates the melanin. And based on the highs and lows of the bass and the treble, in a unified form, they produce whatever type of melanin you need. A certain melanin for at night, the nocturnal level of slow music, and a certain one for the high, when you want to get on up. So they recognize this, but it is the muses and the drum. Because the drum, it is not the beat. It is the spaces in between the beat, which is the nothingness, that bring you into the other dimension. Drum gives you the ability to hear the nothingness, the spaces in between the beat. And it is the spaces in between the beat is what you hear. The gods are responding to the spaces in between the beat because it opens up a doorway that they can come through based on the drum. Or the bass, which is still percussion. It is the spaces in between the beat which gives you the other dimension coming through. You see? So clearly, our classical music of the 20th century is the most healing form that crackers all over the earth is benefiting from now. But we got Puff Daddy. You see, and DMX and Juvenile. And all these idiots. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you got a little Bow Wow for the little children. You see, this thing is off the hook. You see. Going right along. Melanin is connected with dreams because melanin, in actual fact, is sleep. That's what melanin is. How the hell you think they can take melanin out of you and put it in a white person fall asleep? Melanin is sleep. Sleep is melanin. You want to enhance more melanin? Get more sleep. Or you want to really enhance it, it's not the kind of sleep you get, it's not how much sleep you get, is what kind of sleep you get. And the key here is like the Upanishad said, when a person go into deep sleep, he goes to his own. That's why you either take you some valerian root, but if that don't work, they got something called a blue pill. We take the white man drugs anyway. They got something called a blue pill, Unisom. And it does the trick. Key is not to take it every night because that would make you dependent on it. But whenever you want to jump into something or you want to be healed, sometimes you're just feeling bad, the melanin can heal you. But you have to go into a deep sleep. What you think happens when a person gets shot up and they go and they say he needs his rest? Nigga wake up, he be healed, but he be like, hell, you been out for 3 damn weeks, nigga. That's because it is the melanin, which is the sleep, that heals him, but you got to go into the deep sleep. So sometimes the healing is the deep sleep. Because what happens is your soul and your spirit combined can heal itself, providing it gets enough sleep that it can actually take the microscopic organisms and synthesize them to heal, and they can go to work. But you have to go deeper into a deeper sleep. So the key here is Korea stops the melanin. Because you can't never get no damn sleep. That's it. You got to go to work. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard now, because the ancients used to get up at 4 o'clock. Your grandmama and them used to get up at 4 o'clock. But it's hard now because you got bright lights, you got TV, you got them old crazy ass children, them chillins. Everything. Worries, over money bills. Unwanted Negroes stopping by your house. That ain't asset, they liability. High maintenance niggas. High maintenance niggas stopping by. That is long been stopping by to borrow a cup of damn sugar. You see, that would be simple. You see, if it ain't no money because you ain't got no money, but they damn sure will hell out you. You see. So sleep is melanin. That's why in the movie Matrix, Larry Fishburne, the black man, was called what? Morpheus. Morpheus is the god of sleep. And through him all things happen. Because Neo was in the Matrix, the day world, or the awakened world, which is the illusion. It is only when he went into the sleep, because he met up with Morpheus, and Morpheus showed him something out of the Matrix. That's the only time you leave the Matrix is when you go to sleep. And then you have dreams, which is what you have outside of the Matrix. Sometimes it explains the Matrix, but sometimes it's some stuff that you're not even aware of. Hell, you might get it back 2-3 years later. So damn, I had a dream about this thing here. But it is Morpheus who is the god of dreams. The Christ, Shiva, is called the Lord of Dreams. You go all over Asia and you'll see, in India, you'll see the sleeping Buddha. The sleeping Buddha. The word sleeping beauty comes from that whole aspect. You see. You'll see the sleeping Buddha. But Shiva is the god of sleep. And I explained the other night that Shiva is the prototype of the god Horus or Heru. No, Shiva is the Indian prototype of Heru and of the Egyptian Heru. And Egyptian Heru is the prototype of Jesus Christ. You see. But even there, you sleep in your tomb. Osiris sleeps in his tomb, sleeps in the underworld. Dracula sleeps in the coffin, which is the sarcophagus. He wakes at night. That means he is the god of dreams. He is the god of sexual pleasure. Because night sex is always better than day sex. You get in where you fit in, but night sex is special. You know, that's when you can really make love. So Dracula is popular with the honeys. Osiris got 2 chicks on the side of him. Isis and Neptune.